वनचारी
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी
जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी
जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी
यशोदनंदन व्रज जनरंजना
यशोदनंदन व्रज जनरंजना
यमुना तीरावनचारी
यमुना तीरा वनचारी
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी
जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी
जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी
यशोदनंदन व्रज जनरंजना
यशोदनंदन व्रज जनरंजना
यमुना तीरावनचारी
यमुना तीरा वनचारी
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे
जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा
जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा
नित्य गौर हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल
नित्य गौर हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल। नाम संकीर्तन की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। Okay, we can start now. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम
नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव उत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतं सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी शृण्वतां स्वकथा कृष्णा पुण्यश्रवणा कीर्तनः हृदयन्तस्थो हि अभद्राणि विदिनोति शुहुत्सताम् हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते. So today we are just hold on 1 second. I'm going to share my screen. I think I have the wrong window here. Okay, it's the right window. Okay. अहो बकीयं स्थानकालकूटम्. Please repeat.
अहो बकीयं
बकीयां स्तनकालकूटां
सयायप्ययाद्यपि यसाध्वी
जिज्ञाशंश्च पयशादपि यशाभिः
गतिं धात्र्युचितं ततोऽन्यम्
लेवे गतिं धत्रे उचितां ततोऽन्या
तं वा दयालुं शरणं व्रजेम
कं वा दयालुं शरणं व्रजेन
यं स्थानकालकूटम्
अहो
बकीयं स्तनकालकूटं
स्तनकालकूटां
तां सयायप्ययादि यसाध्वी
जिह्वांसयापाययादपि
अपि
साध्वी
यशाभिः
हे गतिं धात्र्युचितं ततोऽन्यम्
लेभे गतिं
गतिं
धात्रि उचितं
धत्रीयुचितं
ततोऽन्यम्
तरणम्
तं वा दयालुं शरणं व्रजेम
कं वा दयालुं शरणं
शरणं
व्रजेम
व्रजेन.
One more time and then you can read the verse. अहो बकीयं स्थानकालकूटम्
अहो
अहो
बकीयां
बकीयं
स्तनकालकूटां
तां सयायप्ययादि यसाध्वी
जिह्वांसयापाययादपि असाध्वी
लेभे गतिं धात्र्युचितं ततोऽन्यम्
लेभे गतिं धात्रि उचितं ततोऽन्यम्
वा दयालुं शरणं व्रजेम
कं वा दयालुं शरणं व्रजेन.
अहो बकीयं स्थानकालकूटाम्
अहो बकीयं
स्थानकालकूटम्
जिज्ञांसयायप्ययदपि यशाध्वी
जिज्ञासादपि यशाभिः
लेभे गतिं धात्रि उचितां ततोऽन्याम्
लेभे गतिं धात्री उचितां ततोऽन्याम्
कं वा दयालुं शरणं व्रजेम
कं वा दयालुं शरणं व्रजेन.
Anybody else wants to?
अहो बकीयं स्तनकालकूटम्
अहो बकीयां स्तनकालकूटां
कालकूटम्
जिह्वांसयापाययादपि असाध्वी
जिज्ञासमशापि यशाभिधि
लेभे गतिं दात्री उचितं ततोऽन्यम्
लेभे
लेभे
गतिं
गतिं
दात्री
दात्री
उचितां
उचितां
ततोऽन्याम्
कं वा दयालुं शरणं व्रजेम
कं
कं
वा
वा
दयालुं
दयालुं
शरणं
शरणं
व्रजेम।
व्रजेम।
अहो बकीयं स्तनकालकूटम्
अहो बकीयं
बकीयं स्तनकालकूटं
स्तनकालकूटम्
जीगं सयापाययत्याप्यसात्वी
जिज्ञासयापादपि यशाभिः
साध्वी
लेभे गतिं दात्री उचितं ततोऽन्यम्
लेभे
लेभे
गतिं
गतिं
धात्री
दात्री
उचितां
उचितां
ततोऽन्याम्
ततोऽन्याम्
कं वा दयालुं शरणं व्रजेम
कं
कं
वा
वा दयालुं
दयालुं
शरणं
शरणं
व्रजेम।
व्रजेम।
Anybody else? Okay, let's see the word to word meaning. Aho,
Aho,
alas.
Aho, alas.
alas.
Mataji, we are not able to hear you.
Baki, the she demon Putna. Can you hear me now, Mataji?
Yes,
Yes.
Yeah.
Mataji. Baki, the she
Baki,
demon
the she
Putana.
demon Putana.
Yam, whom?
Yam
Yam
whom?
whom
Tana, of her breast.
Stana of her breast.
Breast.
Kala, deadly.
Kala deadly.
Tam, poison.
Putam poison.
Kam, saya, out of envy.
Jigamshya,
Chiganam Shaya
out
out
of
of
envy.
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 Apayayat, nourished.
Apayayat
Yes,
nourished.
nourished.
Api, although.
Api,
Api
although.
although.
Asadhvi, unfaithful.
Ashadvi,
Ashabdi
unfaithful.
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 He, achieved.
Lebe,
Maybe
achieved.
achieved.
Gatim, destination.
Gatim,
Gatim
destination.
destination.
Dhatri uchitam, just suitable for the nurse.
Dhatri
Dhatri
uchitam.
Uchitam, just suitable
Just
for the
suitable
nurse.
for the nurse.
Tatha, beyond whom.
Tata,
Tata
beyond
beyond
whom.
whom.
Anyam, other.
Anyam,
Anyam
other.
other.
Come, who else.
Come, who
Who
else?
else?
Va, certainly.
Va,
Va
certainly.
certainly.
Dayalum, merciful.
Dayalu,
Dayalu
merciful.
merciful.
Sharanam, shelter.
Sharanam
Sharanam,
shelter.
shelter.
Rajema, shall I take.
Rajema,
Rajema
shall
shall
I
I
take.
take.
Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation purport. Alas, how shall I take shelter of one more merciful than he who granted the position of mother to a she-demon, Putana, although she was unfaithful and she prepared deadly poison to be sucked from her breast. Anybody wants to read the purport?
I'll read, Mataji. Here is an example of the extreme mercy of the Lord, even to his enemy. It is said that a noble man accepts the good qualities of a person of doubtful character, just as one accepts nectar from a stalk of poison. In his babyhood, he was administered deadly poison by Putana, a she demon who tried to kill the wonderful baby. But because she was a demon, it was impossible for her to know that the Supreme Lord, even though playing the part of a baby, was no one less than the same Supreme Personality of Godhead. His value as the Supreme Lord did not diminish upon his becoming a baby to please his devotee Yashoda. The Lord may assume the form of a baby or a shape other than that of a human being, but it doesn't make the slightest difference if he is always the same Supreme. A living creature, however powerful he may become, by dint of severe penance, can never become equal to the Supreme Lord. Lord Krishna accepted the motherhood of Putana because she pretended to be an affectionate mother, allowing Krishna to suck her breast. The Lord accepts the least qualification of the living entity and awards him the highest reward. That is the standard of his character. Therefore, who but the Lord can be the ultimate shelter?
ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमोऽस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी श्रीराधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमती नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमती भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारणे। Just give me 1 second. I think I am not very audible, or would I just automatically adjust microphone volume?
Remove that.
Can you hear me better now?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. Okay, can you see my screen now?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, so today we are talking about this verse. Aho bakiyam sthanakala kutam jigam sayayapyayadi asadvi lebhe gatim dhatri uchitam tatonyam kamva dayalum sharanam rajema. You must have heard so many lectures on this famous verse. I will try to say something on this verse, but please forgive me if I'm doing some mistakes. You can correct me at any time. Okay, so that was the thing. And so who spoke this verse? Uddhava, actually Uddhava spoke this verse to Vidura. So Vidura, when he was dishonored by Duryodhana and he was sent out of the palace, he was told to go away from the palace. Then he just came, he just went for pilgrimage. And then after a long time, he met Uddhava, who is a cousin and very close relative of Lord Shri Krishna. And he almost looks similar to Lord Shri Krishna. And he's a great devotee of the Lord. So when two relatives meet each other after a long time, they will discuss a lot of things. So in the same manner, Vidura asked, Vidura didn't know that the Lord has stopped his pastimes on this planet, Earth. He went back to his own abode. But when Uddhava was asked about the Lord, Uddhava was in ecstasy, like he was in like a kind of a trance. He went into a kind of trance for at least 48 minutes. And then after Vidura asked the question, he took a long pause, like for 48 minutes, but Vidura kept waiting because he could see all the ecstatic symptoms in his body, in Uddhava's body. His tears were flowing down and his hairs were standing on the ends, and he was showing all the symptoms of ecstasy. And then after 48 minutes, he started speaking, And then he spoke one of the verses which he spoke was Aho Bakiyam Stanakalakutam. So he's like, as we read in the translation purport, that who else can we take shelter of, who is so merciful that he gave, like if we were in the position, like somebody comes tries to kill us, then what we will automatically do is that we want to try revert back or save ourselves or protect ourselves or do something. But Krishna's character is in such a way that how Prabhupada gives in the purport is, he says that even for a smallest qualification, he gives the highest reward. That is what is Krishna's position. So let's see further about this verse. So Putana, the she demon, she came in disguise. She came in disguise as a heavenly damsel, and everybody was like thinking that she is kind of an angelic being or some demigod who came onto the earth, and then everybody was deluded by her beauty and everything. And even Yashoda Mata and Rohini Mata, they were also deluded, and they were thinking that she is like very beautiful. And in the olden days, there used to be multiple nurses, like even for the kings and the prince in the king's palace. For the prince, there used to be multiple nurses, like not only the queen who gave birth to the prince used to breastfeed the baby, but there were other nurses too who used to breastfeed the baby. So in the same manner, they gave an opportunity to this heavenly looking damsel to approach into Krishna's room and feed the baby. So once she started nursing Lord Krishna, she smeared up deadly poison on her breast, and then she wanted to kill Lord Krishna. But then Krishna knows everything, like he knows everything. So he by sucking her breast, he sucked all the milk as well as her life air and all the bad karmas what she did. And he just she was just left with one karma that she was doing at that moment was she was feeding or nursing baby Krishna. And the last thing she was having on her head at the time she was dying was that she wanted Lord baby Krishna to leave her body. So just leave me. She was in great pain and she was thinking about Krishna. So that is the reason why she got the position of a nurse in the Golok Vrindavan. So we can see how, like, with a little bit, though she was very like angry and envious of like not angry and envious, we can say that she was envious and unfaithful to the Lord, but still Lord has given her the highest position of Dhatri or a nurse. So next we can see that this verse was picked by Vyasadeva, who was father of Srila Sukadeva Goswami. What happened was Srila Sukadeva Goswami, he didn't want to come out of the womb of his mother. He stayed there for at least 16 years. And then Vyasadeva approached Lord Krishna, and he told that, please, oh my dear Lord, my son, he doesn't want to come out of the womb. Can you please reassure him so he can come out of the womb? Then Lord Krishna reassures him that it's okay, you are already a liberated soul, so you will not be affected by this material world or material energy. And then Srila Sukadeva Goswami comes out of the womb. And as soon as he comes out of the womb, he starts going away to a secluded place where he wants to meditate upon an impersonal Brahman. And then Vyasadeva got very much worried about Sukadeva Goswami, and then he sent his disciples with 2 verses. They wanted, Vyasadeva wanted his disciples to keep repeating these verses again and again in all the forests, wherever nearby, all the nearby forests. So they were cutting the wood and they were reciting these verses. First verse was Barha Pidam. Barha Pidam Natavara Vapuhu Karnayo Karanikaram Vipradva Saha Kanaka Kapisam Vaijayantim Jamalam Randhran Venum Madhara Sudaya Purayan Gopa Vrindaihi Vrindaranyam Swapadaramanam Pravishad Gita Kirtihi. This verse describes about beauty and glorifies Lord's beauty. And the next verse is Ahobakiyam. Ahobakiyam Stanakala Kutam Jigam Sayayapyayadhyapya Sadvi Lebhe Gatim Dhatri Uchitam Tatonyam Kamva Dayalum Sharanam Rajema. This verse, Ahobakiyam, is a hope-giving verse for all the devotees. So we'll see about that by the end of the presentation. So when Shukdev Goswami heard the first verse itself, he thought, who is this personality who is so beautiful, and I want to know more about him. That's what his first thought was after he heard this verse. And then after that, he, like, when these woodcutters saw this Shukdev Goswami, they were like reciting this Barhapidam. And then when Shukdev Goswami asked more, then they automatically, because Vyasdev told them to recite the other verse, they recited Ahobakiyam. Then he was thinking like, who is such a great personality whom somebody was trying to kill, and he's giving liberation to that to his enemy. Right? So he was thinking like that, and he wanted to immediately know more about this personality. And then he came to Srila Vyasdev, who was his own father. And then he learned the entire Bhagavatam. So that is a little bit about this verse. And then we will go to the next verse. So is God being partial? Why did I ask this question? I asked this question because Lord appears on this planet to save his devotees and annihilate the miscreants, right? To kill the demons, like Paritranaya Sadhuna Vinashaya Chadushkrutam. So, but he's saving his devotees. Is he showing partiality towards his devotees? He's killing all the demons, but we can take it. We'll see how is he really partial or not. We'll just see that. Okay, God is supposed to be equal to all, isn't it? So he is equal to all, but he shows a little bit of favoritism. So if God is equal to all, why should he protect his devotees then? Why should he protect his devotees and punish the demons? So we can see so many examples, like to favor the demigods, Lord incarnated as Varahadeva and killed a great demon named Hiranyaksha. So he killed Hiranyaksha to save the demigods. He took an incarnation as Varahadeva, and he killed Hiranyaksha. In the another pastime, he took a form or avatar like Nrsimhadev, and then he killed demon Hiranyakashipu. Then again he took one more avatar as Vamana, like a dwarf Brahmana, a Vamana, and he killed Bali Maharaj. Sorry, he took away the kingdom of Bali Maharaj by cheating. By cheating, he took away Bali Maharaj. He asked for 3 foot steps, and then he conquered the entire universe. And the last footstep was on the Bali Maharaj's head, and then he pushed him down into the lower planetary systems. So he did this to reinstate Indra as the king of the heavens, because Indra was very much uncomfortable that Bali Maharaj would become the Indra. So Lord performed this pastime. And then when the demigods and demons were churning the milk ocean, then they got Amrita, the nectar, from the ocean. And then at that time also, Lord came in the form of a Mohini Murti, and he cheated the demons. And he gave all the nectar to the demigods. He even killed Rahu. He even killed Rahu, who's a demon, who tried to sit along with the demigods and get the taste of the nectar. He killed in the form of Mohini Murti. He killed the Rahu also. Like this several times, though Lord cheated. He cheated. He is not supposed to be cheating. He is not supposed to show partiality. But still, we can see in all these things. How do we understand this? So he killed so many demons, and he showed his favoritism towards the demigods. So that is why he is known as Surapriya. Lord is known as also a Surapriya. So why is this disparity? Why is this? Why is God doing this? So God is not partial actually, but he reciprocates. He reciprocates in the way you approach him, in the mood you approach him. So in Bhagavad Gita, he says in 4.11, he says that ye yatha mam prapadyante tam tathaiva bhajamyaham. That is what. So, but here in Putana's case, what happened? She will talk about that later. In Putana's case, it's a different thing we will talk about. It's a special mercy that Putana got. So, though the person, whoever is doing service to the Lord, through our material eyes, we could see something else. But God, the Lord, he can see the attitude behind that endeavor, what they are doing. So in that way, he reciprocates. You know, even if you have a tiny, even small tinge of good quality, he is going to reciprocate to you and give to you the highest benediction he could give. That is what his character, that's what Prabhupada mentions in the pulpit as well. So we will see how he shows his favoritism. So we have so many examples are there in Bhagavatam, but I picked one special case, that is Bhishma Dev. So in Bhishma Dev's case, Bhishma Dev, he was lying down on the bed of arrows. He was lying down in a immovable state. He just can't even move his hand or his head or anything else. He just can't move. He's just in that same position. And when Lord Krishna came in front of him, he couldn't even offer his obeisances to the Lord. So what he did was Bhishma Dev mentally offered his obeisances to the Lord. He just like stood up and he offered his obeisances to the Lord mentally. So that is how Bhishma Dev honored Lord Krishna. Though he honored all the other people also, but especially he honored Lord Krishna and he paid obeisances to him. And while the entire conversation was happening, that Yudhishthira Maharaj came with all his brothers and Draupadi and all the sages and the sages' disciples. Everybody was present in the time, at the time when Bhishma Dev was leaving his body. Lord Krishna, he came. Then Bhishma Dev says one verse that in from this verse I picked from Canto 1, 9th chapter, 21st verse. Okay, in this verse, Bhishma Dev is saying that, I'll read the translation. Being the absolute personality of Godhead, he is present in everyone's heart. He is equally kind to everyone, and he is free from the false ego of differentiation. Therefore, whatever he does is free from material inability. He is equibalanced. He is equibalanced. He does not have any differentiation for anybody. He is equibalanced. He is equally kind to everybody, to his devotees as well as the demons. Okay, that's what Bhishma Dev is saying. And in the next verse, he's saying, yet despite his being equally kind to everyone, he is graciously come before me while I am ending my life. This is the favoritism he gives. Like example, we can take one mundane example, like in a classroom, if we have a teacher and she is teaching to the class, she will teach equally to all the students in the class. If she is explaining a concept, she will explain to everybody equally only. And special people like devotees, if they will come and approach the kids, if they come and approach the teacher, if they want to know more, then she will be happy and she will show the favoritism to the kids who came and who are asking more questions and they want to know more about the topic. In the same way, Lord Krishna is showing his favoritism towards his devotees because they are thinking about him, they're serving him, and they're chanting their holy names, and they're offering their services to the Lord. So he becomes indebted to them. That is why he shows his favoritism towards his devotees. But he is not partial. He's not partial, or he won't be partial. So a Lord came in front of Bhishma at the time of his passing away, and everybody knows that how Bhishma Dev passed away looking at Lord Krishna, and he went back home, back to Godhead. In the same way, if we practice Krishna consciousness, if we chant the holy names of the Lord, if we think about him every moment, that's what in Nectar of Devotion it says, that we have to think about him 24/7. Whatever we are doing, whatever we are doing, like offering prasadam and eating prasadam, while eating prasadam also, while honoring prasadam, we should also think about Krishna, that it is because of his mercy that I'm getting all these opportunities to eat such opulent prasadam. We can, while chanting, we will be thinking about him. And then while we raise our kids, we should think that we are raising a devotee, right? She is a devotee, she or he is a devotee of the Lord. And equally to your life partner also, he is also a devotee. So in that way, when you keep everything in Krishna consciousness, then if you practice this for your whole life, then at the time of death, you will remember Krishna in the same way. Otherwise, if you don't practice Krishna consciousness in your, even from day one or from whenever you started Krishna consciousness, if you don't practice it for long enough, then there is a less chance of remembering Krishna, because we are covered by this material existence, material nature, and then if all the material things will come into our head. What happened to our family? What will happen to our kids? What will happen to our bank balance? What will happen to all the properties and everything? What will happen to my parents or my siblings? All these things will come into our head. Instead, if we practice nicely, then at the time of death, we can think about Krishna. And what will happen by thinking about Krishna at the time of death? We'll go back home, back to Godhead. So the only simple and easiest way to practice Krishna consciousness is chanting of the holy names of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. That is the simple and easiest way which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave us. With his mercy, we got this Mahamantra, and we should be chanting this Mahamantra all the time. So what happened here? Putana, as we talked before also, what did Putana do to get the highest position as a nurse in Golak Vrindavan? She offered her body in service of the Lord. She was serving the Lord by nursing him, right? Though she poisoned her body to kill Krishna, but she still offered her body in the service of the Lord. And then she was thinking about the Lord at the time Lord was sucking out her life air. She was thinking about the Lord. She didn't want to. She doesn't know all these things, but still she's a demon. She's envious and she's unfaithful, but still it was happening involuntarily. Even though she's doing it involuntarily, she got such a good benefit out of it. You know, the benediction of becoming a nurse to the Lord in Golok Vrindavan. She got such a great benediction that she got liberated and she went back. So when at the time of death, if we are serving the Lord in some way or the other, we also will get a service of the Lord. And then we will also, if we are thinking of the Lord at the time of death, we'll also get liberated and we'll go back home, back to Godhead. So Putana, though she didn't do it with devotion, she got such a good benefit. Then we can think how, if with devotion, if we do, how many multifolds we will get the benefit, how many times more we will get the benefit, right? We can think about it and we can meditate upon this. And that is why I said we have a hope. We have hope because somehow or the other, not you all, me, you are all great devotees, but I have a lot of qualities like Putana does. I am envious of so many people and so many bad qualities we can see. And then even with all those things, if you offer Lord your services, then I mean you do serve, you serve the Lord somehow or the other, then you have a chance, you have a better chance than Potana, that you can go back to Godhead. That is why I said this is a hope giving verse to all the devotees. So there are 7 mothers actually. Like can anybody say who the 7 mothers are?
The cow is one mother. I'll give other people a chance to say. Nobody wants to say?
The Brahmini, the wife.
Guru's wife.
What? Shuddha Bhakti Mataji, you said something?
Yeah, Guru's wife, I said. Guru Patni.
Got 3. Cow.
The wife of a
Brahmana
king.
The Datri, the nurse. Advika knows them all.
Yeah.
Bhumi Mata, Mataji, 8th mother.
The natural mother, birth.
The-
How many is that?
7 Mataji, we have got all the 7. So the first one is Guru Patni, king's wife, cow, one's own mother, nurse, Bhumi Devi, and Brahmana Patni. So Putana got the position of a nurse in Golok Vrindavan. Just think about it, like if with envy and unfaithful, how envious and unfaithful she was towards Krishna, but still she got that position. If we will do it with faith and a lot of devotion, we will get a better position. Right. So what can we learn from this verse? So we can learn that even if one thinks of Krishna with anger or envy, with constant thinking, one gets liberated by the mercy of the Supreme Lord. That's what we can learn. And then what to speak of lovingly remembering him and serving him, when the mind is so somehow or other fully absorbed in Krishna, the material part is vanquished and the spiritual part, attraction towards Krishna, becomes manifest. So that's what, like, when we lovingly remember Krishna, all the materialistic things will vanquish and the spiritual part, that is attraction towards Krishna, will become manifest. And therefore, in Bhagavatam, there is a verse in the 7th canto, 1st chapter, 32nd verse, 7.1.32. It is said that Tasmat kenapya upayena manah Krishne nivesayat. That's what. So somehow or the other, you have to focus one's mind. Somehow or the other, one has to focus one's mind on Krishna. By focusing one's mind on Krishna, because of his causeless mercy, we can get liberated. That's what we learn from this verse. And then we will see another thing which we can learn from this verse is in the purport, Prabhupada writes that a noble person sees, even if small tiny good quality in a devotee or any other person, he will try to exaggerate that good quality instead of focusing on the bad and ignoring all the bad. He will just keep ignoring all the bad qualities and he will just focus on one tiny good quality. So if we can imbibe this quality within us, then we will have like a better chance, or we can become a better person, a noble person, right? So that is the characteristics of a noble person. And then what does Putana symbolize? She symbolizes, according to Bhaktivinoda Thakur, she symbolizes a deliberately deceptive guru. That's what Putana symbolizes. So a teacher who either teaches sense enjoyment or ultimate goal of life to be liberation, he is known as a deliberately deceptive guru. Like he will be, we can see him as a sage or a saint, but then he will be giving you the wrong teachings. He will be teaching you that about the sense enjoyment, or he will be teaching you that the ultimate goal of life is liberation, but that is not the ultimate goal of life. Can somebody say what is the ultimate goal of life?
devotional service to the Lord.
So if the deceptive guru, if he keeps the devotional service of the Lord as a secondary, then you shouldn't accept that guru, right? So because the ultimate goal of life is devotion towards the Lord. That is the ultimate goal of life. And if somebody is telling you that these three things, that he's telling you about the sense, material sense enjoyment, or he's telling you that liberation is the ultimate goal, or if he's putting the devotion as a secondary, then he's a bogus guru. And we can see how, if he's coming from a bona fide sampradaya, if he has a guru, if he already has a guru who is coming from a sampradaya, or is he from a bona fide sampradaya, we can check ourselves and then we can, pick out our guru. So this is how Putana symbolizes as a bogus guru. And then Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, in the admiration of Lord's amazing grace, he says this in Bhagavad Purana. He says in 10.6.35, he says that if a person offers service with an attempt to kill the Lord and attains the goal of life, how much more will a person attain who offers with a neutral attitude? How much more will a person attain who offers with faith? So, and he says more. How much more will a person attain who offers with pure bhakti? If a person worships an avatar of the Lord, he will attain the supreme destination. But how much more will a person attain who worships Sri Krishna, the supreme source of all the avatars? That's what Chakravarti Thakur says, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says. So we all have hope. I have a lot of hope with this verse, because whenever I see Lord Jagannath Ji, I keep offering this verse. Involuntarily it comes into my mouth. I keep singing, I recite this verse, and then I just don't know what else I can say, but I'll just somehow, I'm so much attached to this verse that first time when I heard this verse, I was very moved, like, because a person who tries to kill you, who's coming with a bad intention towards you, gave the liberation. I mean, that is the ultimate destination. I mean, not the ultimate destination, but it is a very good, highest benediction he could give. He gave the highest benediction to a person who is envious or who is an enemy towards you, who wants to kill you. So how shall I take shelter? That's what I felt the first time when I heard this verse. I felt very much hope that because I have a lot of bad qualities like Putana. So we can see how Prabhupada also showed his mercy when he was in Bombay. He had a friend, kind of friend, or his like close friend. His name is Patel, Dr. Patel. He used to always come to Prabhupada during the morning walks, and he used to discuss and ask questions, and he used to always pick some saints who were like not very strict in following all the rules and regulations, but then he used to pick all those people and he used to talk about them. And then Prabhupada used to not like it. I mean, not like it means he used to do the conversation with Prabhupada. And then what happened one day when Dr. Patel was particularly discussing or talking about one particular saint from India, then the argument went to the extent that Prabhupada was yelling at him and he was yelling towards Prabhupada, and it was a very big argument going on, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then most of the disciples tried to pull Dr. Patel away. They told that please don't, don't make Prabhupada angry because he has a heart condition. And then finally they tried pulling him away. And then one day, Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, he asked this question: why are you, is Dr. Patel a Mayavadi or an impersonalist, or is he a Vaishnava? That's what Tamal Krishna Maharaj's question was. And then Prabhupada replied in response. He told one story. What story he said? He said that one day there was a person who is well versed with a lot of languages. He knows a lot of languages. If whatever language you talk to him, he will reply in the same language very fluently. So nobody was able to tell exactly what was his mother tongue. So one day what happened, his neighbor, what he did was he just got a thorn, and when he was sitting down, he just put the thorn, and then this person sat on the thorn, and then he spoke in his mother tongue. In the same way, Prabhupada is saying here, he told this example to say that Dr. Patel, he is very expert. He's very expert in talking. So he will talk like a devotee. Sometimes he'll talk like a Vaishnava. Sometimes he'll sound like a Mayavadi. Sometimes he will sound like a impersonalist. But when this situation scenario happened, then his actual thing came out. That's what Prabhupada was telling Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. And then further question Tamal Krishna Maharaj asked was, so why do you want to put up with him? He's so offensive. Why do you want to put up with him? Then Prabhupada said, it is our duty to engage everyone. That's what Prabhupada said. And he just gave a chance. He just wanted to give him a chance. He gave Dr. Patel a chance. And then after many years passed, Dr. Patel, he developed a great affection for Srila Prabhupada. And after Prabhupada left this world, he wrote a beautiful article for Back to Godhead magazine about his relationship with Srila Prabhupada. And about Srila Prabhupada, he wrote a magazine in the Back to Godhead magazine. He wrote that a doctor, a Bombay doctor, wins the title Big Fool and loves it because Srila Prabhupada had always called Dr. Patel a Moodha. So he writes in this way. He writes that a Bombay doctor wins the title Big Fool and he loves it. That's what he wrote. So he always, Prabhupada used to always call him Moda, because, and he used to say that I am not calling you Moda. Krishna is saying, Namam Dushyatano Moda Prapadyantena Radhamaha. That's what Prabhupada used to say. And then, so anyone who doesn't surrender to Krishna is a Moda or a fool. That's what Prabhupada used to say. But still he showed, his mercy towards him. Like he gave a chance to Dr. Patel. That's what. Okay, that's what I have for today. Please, if you have any questions, comments, or corrections.
Mataji, I have a little bit of a thing. This particular verse is very famous in the Chaitanya Charitamrita when Gadadhar Pandit and Mukunda go to visit Pundarika Vidyanidhi. Gadadhar Pandit first sees all the opulence of Pundarika Vidyanidhi. He's dressed in silken robes, he has scented hair, he has jewels, and he's spitting into a golden spittoon, and he's thinking, this one looks like a materialist, what kind of a devotee is this? And he kind of judges him mentally, even though he doesn't say anything. And Mukunda realizes this, and he sings this verse, Haubaki. And then Pundarika Vidyanidhi goes into ecstasy and loses external consciousness and destroys everything. So he realizes he's not attached to any of it. He's Vrishabhanu Maharaj in Krishna Leela. So he's an exalted devotee. This is all just for him. He doesn't care about it, And then when he realizes that his offense, then he takes, Gadadhar Pandit takes initiation from Pundarika Vidyanidhi. But Mukunda had a beautiful voice, for Gandharva, and he sings this verse, and that brings out that ecstasy where he loses his external consciousness. So for me, that this verse is always connected to that pastime, So I just wanted to bring that up,
Thank you so much for sharing that.
And I also like to comment that, the devotees are more merciful than Lord, as we see in case of Prabhupada, that how he was showering his mercy to Dr. Patel.
And also it brings the point that the Lord gives much more. We always say that you take one step towards the Lord, he gives you 10 steps or 100 steps. It's always manifold, like it's much more multiplied than whatever you give. And only the Lord can do that. In material life, people give you as much as you give, or maybe a tiny bit more, if you're generous, but never to the extent where you get 10 times or 100 times more. And then this is the quality of the Lord, that even the least little bit. I think Rupa Goswami also has a verse on this where he says that only the Lord, you give the tiniest bit and he magnifies it to the greatest extent that you can do, like whatever service you do. And so with the Lord, it's a win-win. You can't lose. It's like he gives you much more than you deserve. So, and this is the prime example, this verse, that how somebody who came with the intention of killing him, he gave him in Golok Vrindavan, he gave him the position of a mother. How great is that?
I have a question. You mentioned the characteristic of a noble person. Where is this from?
The purport itself, Mataji, Prabhupada mentions that.
In that verse, that purport you did today? Oh, nice. That's a really significant point.
Right. So
Because
he says, Prabhupada says that it is said that a noble person accepts good qualities in people of dubious character.
Yeah, Prabhupada always said we should be like the honeybee and go for the honey, not like the fly, and go for the spores.
Sorry, I joined late. Which verse did we do today?
Oh,
Huh?
Aho bakiyam. Aho bakiyam stanakalakutam jigam sayayapyayadi apyasadvi lebhe gatim dhatri uchitam tatonyam kamva dayalu sharanam rajema.
Thank you.
Maji, even Shishupal got mercy from Krishna, even though he was so heinous. Did you? I don't know if you mentioned that, but
I can mention that. It's good to know. I can mention that also.
Also, I just came from another lecture, by Niranjan Maharaj, and he was saying that Krishna cannot repay the love given by his devotees, like Mother Yashoda and the gopis and everything. And I had never heard this before. He said this is why he came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to repay that debt and to give everybody that love, and to show everybody what that love is, that immense love for Krishna is that he can never repay. And he came to, deliver everybody by showing that love and trying to bring them back, with that love, to show them what that love is.
Mataji, I was just curious. Do you know anything about Putana's past life? Was she a devotee or something like that?
Maltipriya, I know that. I heard a lecture, but I'm a little bit. Go ahead, Mataji. Were you saying something? I didn't want to interrupt you.
She was a sister of Bali
She's
Maharaj.
Bali Maharaj's sister in the previous.
Ratnamala.
Is it Dev? Who's speaking? I'm sorry. Is it Manishi?
Oh,
She's Bali Maharaj's sister in a previous life. And when she sees Vamana Dev, she gets such affection for the little Brahmana boy. She has motherly affection. But then when her brother is treated so unjustly, she gets furious and she thinks, how could the Lord do this? My brother was giving everything and he has destroyed him in one way, even though, of course, it's a benediction, Vamana Dev becomes a doorkeeper. And then in the next creation, Bali Maharaj is going to be Indra. So there is reward there. But at least at the time being, it looks like a very unjust thing to do. And so she's Bali Maharaj's sister in a previous life, they say. I heard in a lecture. And that's why the Lord, she has that revenge. She wanted to kill the Brahmana. She had that in that moment of fury. She wanted to destroy him. So she got that chance for destruction, trying to destroy. But at the same time, that motherly love that she felt for the little effulgent Brahmana boy also came through. And then that's the pastime that enacted. That's what I'd heard somewhere, in a lecture from a sannyasi. I don't think it was my Guru Maharaj. I don't know who I heard from.
Last time Sudhabhakti Mataji mentioned this when she was talking about.
What,
Yeah.
Mataji?
Sudhabhakti Mataji mentioned the same pastime last time when she was talking about the same verse.
Oh, you remember that?
I don't
That's
join
Mataji,
these
yeah.
classes, so I'm sorry. I'm so far
Yeah,
behind.
actually, when she Ratnamala sees Lord Vamanadev beauty, she just gets mesmerized and she thinks that, what if I get a child like him? Like she wants to nurse. And after that, when she sees that how Bali Maharaj being treated, she gets very angry and she feels very envious. And she thinks that if I want to kill him. So that's how she thinks of killing him. Like though she happens to, think about him as a child. So those two things are fulfilled by Lord in the next incarnation. So how beautifully he reciprocates with your feelings, the way you approach, ye yadhamam prapadyante, like that. So it's very beautiful pastime connected. Thank you for choosing this verse.
And just I would like to add one comment, like we are discussing about many characteristics, right? Putana, Sisupal, like that many other demons who tried to kill Krishna, who were envious on Krishna, and still we thinking that, they got liberated. But we should not, take their example, what I think, because Krishna says that we know that in Nectar of Devotion says the Anukulena Bhakti, right? That is important. Although, they got liberated, but as a pure devotee or a devotee of the Lord or aspiring devotee of the Lord, we should always think to perform Anukula Bhakti instead of, doing, going against of Krishna and getting hope for getting liberated. Yeah, these examples are for us only to understand the point that even though they performed so many what do you call not Anukula Bhakti, they always envious of Krishna, but still they got liberated. And what to think when we perform little bhakti, right? So that is what we should take from these pastimes.
Anukula to Krishna Bhakti, right? Not
Right.
Anukula to us Bhakti.
Yes, Anukulena Krishnanu Seelanam Bhakti.
Because we have a saying in our language, Anukula Shastra means like doing things according to what you want to do rather than what Krishna wants to do. So I just wanted to make it clear, Anukula to Krishna Bhakti.
Madhji, I don't know if anybody knows, but if Maricha, in Ramayana, he called out he wanted to deceive, Rama by saying that he's a deer, and then he wanted Sita to be kidnapped by that pastime. But at the end, when he dies, he says, "Oh Rama, oh Lakshmana," like that. He calls him, "Oh Lakshmana" or something. He calls out. So does he get any benefit for calling out like that, even though he deceived? I don't know if anybody
Yes,
knows.
I think I'd heard in a lecture that he did get. In fact, Marichi was very intelligent. Ravana says, "If you don't follow me, I'm going to kill you." And he says, instead of dying from Ravana's arrows, it's better to die with Rama's arrows. And that's why he chooses to do that. First, he does not want to do it. He advises Ravana, saying that, I've been thrown into the ocean. This is not an ordinary person. This is a supreme personality of Godhead. Don't mess with him. But when Ravana does not listen to him, and he says, "I'm going to kill you if you don't do it," he said it's better to die from Ram's hands than to die from Ravana's hands. And that's why he chooses to become the deer and do whatever he's asked to do. And because he called out Ram's name at the last minute and he died with Ram's arrows, he does get liberation. I don't know what kind of liberation. I don't know if he went back to Goloka, but he did get liberation. Every demon that dies
Lakshmana,
of
right?
Ram's
He didn't
hand,
call out
any
Ram.
Lord's hands gets, yeah.
Didn't he call out Lakshmana's name?
Yeah, he called out
He said,
Lakshmana. But Lakshmana is Balaram himself. So
yeah,
Balaram
Balaram.
himself,
So it is, he calls Rama also. He says, "Hey Ram, hey Lakshman." Last he says Lakshman. So, but then, the Sita hears that sound and she responds to it. But he's Balaram, he's the second expansion. So it's the same thing.
Thanks, Mataji. Sudev Priya Mataji is our encyclopedia.
I just not Mataji. Actually, in the morning, I used to think, why doesn't my brain work in the morning? Because most people, they say the morning hours are the best hours because they're peaceful. You're waking up. That's because I have sleep apnea. I don't breathe properly at night. My brain is denied of oxygen. So early in the morning, I don't remember things. As the day progresses, I remember more and more, So in my case, it's kind of weird. I don't remember things early in the morning.
How you're saying, Mother, you told so many pastimes now. You're saying you don't remember anything.
Well, sometimes in the morning I can't recollect names. I can't, I have this fog in my mind and I'm thinking it's early in the morning, it's Brahma Murta, you should remember more. But that's because of my sleep apnea condition, because I stop breathing periodically and I don't get oxygen to the brain. So I figured it out, why I don't remember in the morning.
She meant that earlier she used to remember 100%. Now she remembers 99.99. So
come on.
I remember when you said she has a photographic memory. Mataji has photographic memory.
Yeah, exactly.
Haribo.
Hari.
So
Anyway, it's Krishna's whatever,
Yeah, no
I
one.
only have memory. I don't have anything. Like you all have good qualities. You have service. You have wonderful qualities. I just have a stupid memory. But at least, I think I should engage it in Krishna's service. So then maybe it is some useful. Otherwise, it's some stupid quality. It doesn't really mean anything.
Okay, Mataji, we don't call you in the morning then. We'll call in the evening. Otherwise, I don't know.
No, you can call me. But I'm thinking like why I can't recollect things early morning. That's because of my diseased condition. I'm in the material world. All of us are in diseased condition, but I'm like dream within a dream. So disease within a disease,
The best time is to reach her at 12 a.m. Okay.
That's will
Madhi,
get
would the
maximum
example
mind.
of Haridas Thakur also be relevant here? Haridas Thakur, even though that she came as a prostitute to woo him, but
Yes.
she ended up being a devotee. I feel that's also a similar pastime compared to this. She became
Yes.
transformed.
That is like, how Lord Shiva could not control his sense gratification, but a devotee like Haridas Thakur could control because he's a devotee of the Lord.
Maji,
Like
I
we
don't
said.
agree with that Shiva point. Shiva is exalted. Maji.
No, there was like a,
Leela.
no, it's a Leela, but there was like this one lecture I heard where someone was talking that he, like when Mother Parvati came and agitated him, so he had to surrender to her wish. And then, but here in case of Haridas Thakur, he's like a pure devotee of the Lord that,
Yeah,
by
and Srila
chanting,
Prabhupada
he
also
could-
says that
he
in
could
one of
put
the
her
purports.
away.
Remember, we recently read.
Yeah.
Yeah, Srila Prabhupada says that in one of the purports, and I even asked Jiva Mataji, why does he say about Shiva?
Right, yeah. Very nice class, Chivanandini Mataji.
Yeah.
I think it's amazing when I saw that, what's her name? I can't get your daughter, Advika, sang so beautifully this morning. She's like a little Gandharva, and of course, Manishi's voice is like, I don't know, angelic, I don't know. She's beautiful. So all these two voices, and I'm thinking how amazing these little kids are singing so beautifully, and all of I'm so happy with all these kids. They recite these shlokas, they rattle off this, everything. And such wonderful, beautiful, devotional voices. It's so nice to hear them.
Even Sevanandini chants so sweetly.
She
Her
does, but
bhajan-
her daughter, but I
her
have to say her
bhajans,
daughter is better than her.
bhajans and everything.
I like her daughter. I mean, she's beautiful. Of
Like
course,
mother,
Sevanandini
like
is
daughter,
wonderful,
Mataji.
but Advika is better. Advika, you're better. You sound better than your mom.
Haribo.
Give me blessings. Please give me
Like
blessings.
mother, like daughter. Huh?
And some of us are lucky if we can remember the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Huh?
Yes.
At least I hope I can remember that.
Patitanam Vaishnavebhyo Namo Ananta Koti Vaishnava Ki Jai, Prabhupada Ki Jai, Sivanandini Mataji Ki Jai.
Yay.
Hare
Forgive me if
Krishna.
if I did any mistakes. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare
No
Krishna.
mistakes, Mataji. Perfect.
Wonderful.